I want to get into some of the controversy that we've seen over the last this past race, I guess. We've had some of the 450 and some of the 250, and I want to start off with the 450. The Vince Friese versus Justin Barcia whole thing. AJ had a discussion on it. All the message boards are lighting up. Everyone has something to say about Vince on online. What do you guys think about the incident between Barcia and Vince Friese? And let's just Vince Friese as a rider, you know, full stop. I just want to see what you guys think about him as a rider, and if he's as bad as people make him sound like he is. Manny, I'll start with you, man. What are your thoughts?
I don't know. It's like, I would say, like, in the beginning, I was kind of like on board with like everybody else in the beginning, saying like, you know, like he shouldn't have been like in that line and stuff like. But the more like I watched the race over like twice, and it was like that was the main line though, that like he was riding, and like if you watch everybody was taking that outside main line to hit that jump, and Barcia, like, it looked like he was trying to pass him even on the left side as he was coming up to that jump. And it was like there was no room there regardless for him to even like try to make that pass. And I think like some of the people that were like really, really bashing Vince were like, I don't think they understand that like he's not slow. So it's like they're making it seem like, you know, he's like last place in the main, you know, cruising around or something like that, getting in everybody's way. Like he was riding a very good pace when Barcia pulled up on him. I just think it was kind of like one of those like kind of shitty situations where like Barcia tried to make like a pass that he could have probably checked up a little bit for and still made the pass following. But I think he just tried to kind of like really, really make that outside work. And he was like committed to kind of trying to get back up to the front. And it was kind of like one of those situations where like sometimes if you're damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of situation.
What are your thoughts, Cade?
It's just odd to me that it's always Vince.
Yeah.
You know, like it's like it was obviously Dean a few weeks ago, but like Vince always seems to put himself in these situations. And, you know, going back to what you said, that was the main line. The rule in the rule book, it says yield the main line. Like you are supposed to yield to the leaders and give up the main line and allow them to pass. Like you're supposed to hold your line, but as a lapper, it is your job to use a different line to allow those guys by. And that's not the exact wording in the rule book, but you get the drift. But you know, that's a problem I have is I get out of the way too much and it messes up the flow of my race. And Vince doesn't get out of the way enough. And every single person on that gate knows that. You know, that goes back to why Kenny slammed him. You know, Kenny saw an opportunity. He's like, I got to get this dude out of my way right now. And, you know, it is what it is. You know, Barcia, like you said too, Barcia shouldn't have tried to make that pass around the outside. He should have followed him. You know, it is what it is. You know, he sees that he's not letting him by. So it's like, there's no room over there. You know, the jump goes from right to left in the main line. So like if you're trying to pass him on the outside, where do you think he's going to go? He's going to go from right to left. And Justin probably was only thinking about Eli and not really thinking about Vince, and it bit him. You know, it's not all on Vince, but at the same time, like, I mean, I like Vince anymore. He's been a lot nicer lately. So he, you know, but in the same time, man, like you gotta learn to get out of the way. Like you're not in the race anymore. Like I get that you're still racing for positions. So am I. But at the same time, like they've earned that right to get by you, and you need to get the fuck out of the way.
So I agree with you, Cade, but I also agree with you, Manny, also as well. I think Vince could have done a little bit better job of having a little bit more race awareness and where he was on the track. Now, I know we're all taught from little kids on 50s, don't look back. The race is in front of you. We all make fun of Michael Alessi for all those videos of him looking back when he's racing. The race is ahead of you. So I do think, you want to make sure you ride your own race. Obviously, that's what these guys are paid to do. That's what their job is to race their race, right? I just think we need to do a better job of notifying these riders of like, hey, blue flag is out. I'm clearly waving it. You know, either this is your warning, you're getting docked, or whatever it is, if you do not adhere to this blue flag. And I think that would give riders a lot more incentive, which I do think they do to an extent, but it's really not consistent. But it would give them more incentive to be like, hey, you know what? I need to get out of the main line, let the leaders go by, and then resume my regular race. But again, I also know that everyone on that gate has a little bit of an ego, a little bit of pride. No one likes being lapped. I hate even being lapped in go-karts if I'm with a pro go-karter, you know what I mean? So I definitely, I understand. I just think that Vince, could have done a little bit better job of moving over and allowing the leaders to get by. Barksha could have done a little bit better job of knowing, like, hey, this guy's pretty hard to pass. He's riding a wide bike. Maybe I should alter my line a little bit or get a little bit more creative and find a different place or alternate ways to get around. So I think it could go both ways. But having said that, I don't think Friese sucks like everyone says. I'm a Vince Friese fan. The guy's a phenomenal starter. He's very fast. He belongs, you know, out there with these guys. He's, you know, arguably on any given weekend, the guy could top 10. You know what I mean? Like he's solid. He's a solid rider. I think he garners a lot more respect than he gets currently. And a lot of guys will say that, you know, out there in the industry, like, you know, Vince is a good rider. Yeah, he's a little controversial. He can't seem to get away from, you know, all these bad incidents. Maybe he's a bit of a scapegoat for a lot of guys, but still, he's a solid rider, and I like what he has to offer the sport. I hope he stays around for quite a while. I just hope that, get a little bit better with watching the blue flag, let the leaders by, but also continue to kick ass in your own race. I know it's easier said than done, right?